What's up guys, Rui here and welcome back to the channel. One of the very first brands that I have the absolute pleasure to be working with is Ido, and if you guys have been with this channel for the longest of time, you will probably know that 95% of the time I will be wearing a pair of pants from them. That's because as a person who is trying to stick to a more minimal and smaller wardrobe, I find that their pants are incredibly versatile and it basically goes well with anything in my wardrobe, especially since I am more into the functional and utilitarian kind of aesthetic. That is why for the longest of time, I have just been laying off picking up new bottom wear. As of today, Ido is launching their new subdivision line called Traject, and I'm very excited to talk all about it, as well as reviewing every single piece that will be released for this launch. Now there will be a total of 7 pieces being launched here, therefore I've decided to split it up into 2 parts, simply because number one, it will be more organized, and secondly, it will be less taxing for me having to kind of film everything in one go. Therefore, for today's video, we will only be covering the bottom wear, and for the following video, which will be out by next week, it is going to be all about the outerwear. Also, in conjunction with this launch, I do have a promo code for you guys so that you can have a slightly better deal. So if you guys are interested in it, then be sure to stick around for that. But before we continue to dive further into today's video, it would be very much appreciated if you could go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below if you are new to the channel or just haven't been subscribed yet, as it really does help the channel out a long way. Also, if you are feeling generous and want to help support the channel in a much bigger way, I do have a Patreon page whereby I've only set up to be $1 a month, and all of it will go into helping me to pick up new filming equipment so that I can continue to improve the qualities of the videos for you all, as well as helping to keep the lights on this channel. Taking a closer look at what the whole Traject line is, it's a subdivision from the brand that focuses on the idea of made-to-order functional garments for everyday use. That is why when it comes to the aesthetic of it, it doesn't try to do too much, but instead focusing on the silhouettes of the pieces to allow them to be easily integrated into your wardrobe while ensuring that functionality and mobility is taken into consideration. I would say that for the many of us out there who are looking at functional pieces that are more on the affordable side, this is a great brand that you can look into. Personally, I think this is an awesome way to go about garment making, especially if you are producing more cut and sew pieces, as it requires a lot of attention to detail and quality control, which can be very lackluster if the pieces are being produced in a factory whereby they do not have the proper craftsmanship level to be able to sew pieces that have a much more intrinsic pattern and cutting. By adopting a made-to-order system, although it will take a longer time and higher cost of production, the pieces will be made in a much more controlled environment, ensuring that the pieces will meet proper quality standards. One other great aspect is that because the entire line is made to order, all the pieces will technically never be out of stock, hence you never have to worry about the piece and size that you want being sold out. Personally, I think this is an awesome way to go about garment making, especially if you are producing more cut and sew pieces, as it requires a lot of attention to detail and quality control, which can be very lackluster if the pieces are being produced in a factory whereby they do not have the proper craftsmanship level to be able to sew pieces that have a much more intrinsic pattern and cutting. Lastly, made-to-order garments do help to reduce overproduction as well as waste of materials within the fashion industry. A lot of times when a particular piece is being made in factories, there is a rather large minimal order that needs to be placed in order for production to begin. And for smaller companies or labels, this will require a large sum of capital upfront, and any unsold pieces will be just sitting in the inventory, which comes up as just a huge waste in all aspects. From a more sustainable perspective, there could be far less materials being used here, while on the business side, many smaller brands are unable to produce new collections until they are able to recuperate from the previous drop. Now, while made to order is definitely not the perfect solution towards helping to reduce the overall wastage, I do think that this is moving towards the right direction. In fact, I do know quite a few companies that are starting to adopt or have already adopted the made to order system. Moving to the pieces, for this first drop, there will be a total of 7 pieces being released at the same time, which consists of 3 outerwears, 3 bottom wears, and a belt accessory. Hence, for today's video, we will be exclusively checking out all the bottom wear as well as the belt accessory. If you guys are interested in the outerwears, then be sure to stay tuned for next week's video. One final announcement before we jump into today's pieces: if you guys are interested in picking up anything from this drop, the people over at Aido has very kindly sent over a promo code for you guys that came from this channel. Therefore, before checking out, you can go ahead and use the promo code RUI10 and get yourself $10 off each piece, excluding the belt and sticker pack. In full transparency, I am getting a little bit when you do use this code, so if you guys are picking something up, be sure to use it to save yourself quite a bit of money, especially if you are picking up multiple pieces, and also it will help this channel out tremendously. The first pair that we'll be checking out is the Slayer pants, and if you ever were a fan of their previous plain cargo pants, then this would be the closest to it as of right now. Aesthetic wise, it is a very simple looking pair of pants, but it does have some rather interesting design, giving it its own unique characteristics. Overall, if you are looking for a pair of everyday pants, this is a great pair to look into, as it just looks super clean and minimal. On the front, there is not much going on, with the only visible pocket being a foam pocket on the right side. It's pretty wide and has a rather deep compartment, hence I would say it will be able to fit most of the current phones out there. One very interesting design of the Slayer pants is that, unlike a more traditional pair, it doesn't have a waist separator on the top of the pants, making it to have this very seamless and clean aesthetic. That being said, there are still belt loops for you to integrate your favorite belts and accessories. While it is a rather unique design, it's going to be pretty much covered off if you do wear your shirts untucked, which is most of the time anyways. Something else to note is that the zipper is the only way to fasten the pants, as there are no buttons or hooks usually found on the top of the zipper to help provide a secondary locking mechanism. The main benefit here is that it allows you to fasten the pants very quickly, but it also means that it actually is rather easy to just unzip the entire pants. They probably did thought of potential mishaps happening, as they have integrated a locking mechanism on the zipper that when the tab is being pushed down, it completely locks the entire zipper from unzipping. This is something that you always need to be mindful of when you are putting this pair on to avoid any unwanted accidents. Moving towards the back is where all the more interesting design lies. You have the inverted placement of the brand tag, and unlike a more traditional pair of pants whereby you have two back pockets, they completely redesigned it with one massive pocket located in the middle of the pants. I've mostly seen this design in a lot of outerwears, and this is actually the first time I'm seeing it on a pair of pants. It does look pretty cool, and it kind of reminds me of something that's out of Naruto. The pocket does have a rather large capacity, however functionally and utilization wise, it is something that you definitely will have to get accustomed to using it, because if you do add anything a little bit heavy, you will definitely feel the weight behind, and because it's not tightly secure like a more traditional back pocket, you will have this sensation of something that is just hanging behind. Personally, I would just say treat it as more of an aesthetic design, unless you really do not mind having to reaccustom towards kind of this new pocket placement. Located behind the pants are also Velcro straps around the knee and ankle area. I really like that around the ankle area, the Velcro strap runs across 360 degrees, ensuring that you will have a taper fit no matter how wide or small your ankles are. However, I do find that when I do taper the ankle area, it does restrict me a little bit from performing bigger movements, but it is totally fine for casual usage and just general walk-in. Maybe if I were to go one size up, I would have gotten better articulation. I'm not too sure, but this is just my experience with it. As for the straps around the back of the knee area, I would say it really is just for aesthetic reasons and nothing more. You can technically have it to taper the pants a bit more, but in my opinion, I think it creates this very odd shape and also heavily restricts your movement. In terms of the fabric material being used here, it features a 4-way stretch as well as quick dry, being that it is a rather lightweight fabric. And I think this is great for anyone who is kind of living in a hotter climate country, whereby you wouldn't want something that is too thick and heavy. Looking at the construction wise, it is what you would expect from a made-to-order piece. All the stitch lines and patterns are done very well here, with no visible loose threads on the outside, and the stitch lines are very clean and straight. As to how it fits and the general sizing wise, I am 5'10", 144 pounds, or 177 centimeters and 64 kilograms. And I am wearing a size S, which is my true size when it comes to sizing wise for either Edo bottom wear. I would say for the waist area it does fit me perfectly, but something to consider is the length of the pants, because it's designed to have a slightly shorter length, which causes the pants to not have much stacking. Therefore, if you would like to achieve a little bit of that stacking look, I would suggest going one size up, and if the waist area is a little bit too loose for you, you can always use a belt to achieve a better fit. Overall, I would say that this is a pretty basic functional pair of pants, and if you are looking for your first tech wear pants, then you could consider this, as it will be very easily integrated into your wardrobe, and from there you can start to expand into more interesting pieces. The second pair released in this drop is the Commodius Pants, and it is definitely the more feature packed among the two pants. Coming in at $150 is also the most expensive piece in this entire collection. Therefore, let's check it out and see what it has to offer. In terms of the look and aesthetic wise, this definitely is the busier looking pair compared to the Slayer pants. I like that they added a pleated design in the front that really helps to break it out from a lot of the other techwear looking pants, especially in this corduroy version. The color of it is also very unique, as it has this smoky gray, and being that it's corduroy, it will have different hues and shading when light is shined on it. Although the pants are constructed using corduroy, I would say in terms of mobility and articulation, this performs much better compared to the Slayer pants that even features four-way stretch fabric. I'm able to perform much bigger movements, and it's able to accommodate most of them, which is something that I'm very impressed with. If you want a lighter and easier to match color, it also comes in a standard black colorway, which uses the same fabric material as the Slayer pants. Hence, I would say if you want to add more colors into your wardrobe or just try something new, give the corduroy version a try. If not, you really can't go wrong with the black pair. Do take note that the corduroy fabric is pretty thick and also slightly heavier, so I would say it would be a perfect pair of pants to be worn during the fall season. However, for any kind of slightly hotter weather, it will get pretty warm, especially around the waist area. Checking out some of the more interesting features of this pair, the main highlight has to be the waist area, as it has these velcro straps running across it, and if you were to realize, the pants don't really have any belt loops. That's because these straps are essentially what you will be using to help tighten the pants up. Essentially, you can unstrap both sides and tighten it up to your desired size. That is why, in order to accommodate this fastening system, the zipper has to be relocated to the back instead of the front, and throughout this review period, I oftentimes find myself wearing the pants the other way around. This is a really cool design feature, and it's actually the first pair of pants that I've seen utilizing this type of fastening method. However, do note that while you are able to kind of tighten and adjust to make the waist size smaller, you are unable to kind of expand it beyond what it originally is. In terms of sizing wise and just how it fits in general, I feel like the intended fit of this pair is pretty high-waisted if you do go true to size. I'm wearing a size S here, and while it does fit me, it is pretty high-waisted and I can't really have it any lower while still having the zipper to be all the way up. I would say this is a pair whereby you definitely will want to prioritize the length of the pants compared to the waist size, as you will be able to highly adjust the waist area. This is again a pair that is slightly shorter in length if you are going through the size, and it also features to be a pair whereby you can have it to be a more cropped look as well if you like. So definitely prioritize the length over the waist when picking it up. As for storage compartments, the Commodius Pants also features two pretty massive cargo pockets which have a top opening. You are able to fit quite an ample amount of things inside, but it is missing a dedicated phone pocket. There is a strip of zipper running across, whereby if you unzip it, it will completely expose the inside of the pocket. To be honest, I feel like there is not much functionality of the zipper, but it does add a very nice detail and color contrast. The back pockets are back with this pair, but it's located more towards the side of the pants for easier reach and access. A small design added to them is a strap that is secured by a single button to help keep the pocket from sticking out. The pockets do run pretty deep and have an angular opening design. My final thoughts on this pair is definitely a very interesting pair, and I do think that the Velcro waist tightening mechanism is a smart idea to go about adjusting the pants, and also the utilization of the corduroy fabric gives out a very refreshing look. If you are looking to add some uniqueness towards your wardrobe or wanting to try out something new, this could be a pair you could consider picking up. The final thing that we'll be taking a look at is the Helix Belt, which is the only accessory released within this drop. Coming in at only $20 US, it is a rather basic belt with a little bit of utilitarian design thrown in it. It uses a buckle fastening system and comes with a couple of D-rings attached on the belt, which allows you to hook your keys and whatnot. Personally, my take on belts is that it all comes down to your personal preference and how much you like the design of it. Because a belt at the end of the day is just a belt. There really is not much innovation and features you could add into an accessory like this to make it even more functional and useful than it already is. The good news here is that for you guys who are planning to pick up any of the Traject line bottom wears, this belt will be included to you as a gift, but it is only limited to one per customer. So overall, you are still getting more value from this, and it is always great as consumers. Do note that this is only available as a gift if you do pick up the Traject line bottom wear only, and not the outerwears or any other pieces from Ido. That is basically the full rundown and review of all the bottom wear and accessories from the first Ido Traject drop. Overall, I'm very happy to see the direction that they are going. And for me, I think the main challenge here is really to be able to constantly keep up with the consistency as well as quality of each garment being produced here, because I really do think that this will be the make or break factor for this line. Personally, I think that the outerwear this time around is a little bit more stronger with more interesting design. So if you guys are interested in checking those pieces out before making your purchase decision, then be sure to stay tuned for next week's video. What are your thoughts on the Traject subdivision line? Are you guys a fan of it, or which of the pieces are your favorite? Do let your thoughts be known down in the comment section below, and let's discuss about it. Also, if you guys are planning to pick up something from this line, be sure to use the promo code RUI10 to save yourself $10 US each piece, and it does help the channel out a ton because I do get a little bit each time you guys do use the promo code. If you have watched all the way to this point, thank you so incredibly much, because it really does help to add in the number of hours that the channel needs in order to be qualified so that it can start generating a little bit of revenue. Be sure to hit the like button if you did enjoy watching today's video, and if you are new to this channel or just haven't been subscribed yet, it would really mean the world to me if you guys can go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. That is all I have for today's video. Please do stay safe out there, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.